This is the Motorola Edge 30 Fusion, the newly released global edition of the China-only Moto S30 Pro. It's an upper mid-ranger that promises some nice features and has a pretty unique look to boot. I'm Will for GSM Arena, and this is our Moto Edge 30 Fusion review. The Moto Edge 30 Fusion isn't quite a full-on flagship, but as an upper mid-ranger, it packs a high-end chipset and display, and a few other nice features as well. The design here is something special. The back is covered with faux leather. It's soft to the touch, and together with the two-tone camera bump, lends the Edge 30 Fusion a business-minded and classy look. Both the front and the back panels curve into the thin metal frame, and the phone is pretty light and comfy in the hand. As is typical for Motorola, the Edge 30 Fusion is marketed as dust and splash resistant, but lacks any formal ingress protection. On the front is a curved 6.55-inch POLED display with a 1080p resolution, Gorilla Glass 5 protection, and an extra fast 144Hz refresh rate. You can use the phone in 144Hz mode, and in this way you'll be sure to get high frame rates in games if they support that. In the adaptive mode, movement is still smoothed out, but the refresh rate can dial down when idling to save energy. When it comes to brightness, the Edge 30 Fusion is impressive. We measured a respectable 550 nits maximum when using the manual brightness slider, and this can boost to almost 950 nits in auto mode when out in the sun. The display looks good, with nice sharpness and great contrast. There's support for HDR10+, as well as 10-bit color. And the color accuracy is good, and you can tweak the colors further through settings if you wish. For audio, the Edge 30 Fusion has a Dolby Atmos branded stereo speaker setup. The earpiece acts as the second speaker. They earned a score of very good when it comes to loudness, and the quality is nice, with a tight frequency response and clear sounding voices.
I'm wide awake, but you're a nightmare.
You can wake up and unlock the phone with the under-display fingerprint reader. It's fast and reliable. Our Moto Edge 30 Fusion has 128 gigs of storage on board, but that's not expandable through microSD. The interface of the Moto Edge 30 Fusion is very close to stock Android 12. You get the standard looking home screen, notification shade, and quick toggles here. And everything is snappy and bloat free. There are a few proprietary Moto features to be found, and they're all conveniently organized into the Moto app. The personalization options give you a chance to customize the looks of your interface. Then there's an extensive list of custom gesture shortcuts that you can use if you want. The peak display is Moto's alternative to an always-on display. It will show you the time and notifications on the screen if you tap or move the phone. There are additional options for call and notification blocking while gaming, Dolby sound enhancement, and media shortcuts while the screen is locked. And the Edge 30 Fusion is compatible with Moto's Ready For feature. It allows you to connect the phone to a monitor or TV, and even a mouse and keyboard to get something like a desktop experience. Under the hood of the Edge 30 Fusion is a Snapdragon 888 Plus chipset, the top Android chipset from last year. In benchmarks, it sits just behind flagships running on this year's Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. The Edge 30 Fusion has enough power to handle anything you throw at it, from productivity tasks to demanding games. When it comes to thermals, the Edge 30 Fusion behaves in a similar fashion to most other recent phones running on high-end silicon. In our stress test, the phone throttled its performance to around 60% after an hour to prevent overheating. This was gradual though, with no sudden dips. Battery life on the Moto Edge 30 Fusion is pretty decent considering the battery's 4400 mAh capacity. In our proprietary tests, it was able to score an endurance rating of 101 hours. On top of that, the phone is seriously fast to charge. It comes with a 68-watt power delivery charger, and with it we were able to charge from 0 to 82% in half an hour. Now onto the cameras. On the back, the Moto Edge 30 Fusion has a 50-megapixel main cam, a 13-megapixel ultra-wide cam, and a depth sensor. Photos from the main cam come out in 12.5 megapixels by default, and they are good overall. There's plenty of detail and contrast, and the colors are nice and true to life. It's not perfect though. The fine details are a little on the soft side when pixel peeping, but they are fine for the class. Portraits are taken with the main cam and look nice, with good subject separation and background blur. The facial features could be a bit sharper. Good thing there is no skin smoothing for our furry friend here. The ultra-wide cam's photos also come out at 12.5 megapixels. These have a decent amount of detail. The color rendition is nice too, even if not a great match to the main camera. Our bigger concern, however, is that even daylight shots have visible noise, and distortion around the edges is considerable. But these are still better than what we've seen from past Motorola models. Because it has autofocus, the ultra-wide camera can take close-up macro shots. The autofocus works great, and the quality is good, with nice detail and colors. In low light, the main camera holds up quite well, especially since it has an auto night enhancement. There is a decent amount of detail in the shots. Light sources are handled reasonably well, and there is some detail picked up in darker areas. Colors are close to real life too. Overall, it's a nice improvement over Motorola phones of the past. The dedicated night mode doesn't have a dramatic effect, but the regular night shots are already quite good tonally. We get slight restoration of clipped highlights and some extra sharpening, but not even on all photos we took, so I'd reckon you could even go without this mode. In low light, the ultra-wide does a decent job for this sort of camera, helped by the auto night enhancement. The exposure is quite balanced, but the photos are also soft. Unfortunately, there is no dedicated night mode support on this camera to help things out. You can take selfies with a 32 megapixel front-facing cam, and it has autofocus. These look great overall, with plenty of fine detail and nice-looking textures and skin tones. You can shoot selfie videos in 4K, and the quality is excellent, with great-looking facial features, colors and textures, and a lot of detail. However, stabilization is not its strong suit. The main cam can record in up to 8K at 30 FPS. Quality-wise, the 8K video is really nice, with an excellent level of detail, vibrant colors, great contrast, and wide dynamic range. 4K from the main cam is great too. The ultra-wide camera can record in 4K as well, and we like the quality here, especially compared to other phones' ultra-wides which are limited to 1080p. The colors are true to life, and the dynamic range is pretty wide too. So that's the Motorola Edge 30 Fusion. There's really a lot to like here, including the classy vegan leather design, the nice 144Hz OLED display, a high-end chipset, solid battery life with fast charging, and an improved camera experience from past Motorola models. Our only real issues here are just nitpicks. There's no official IP rating, and a telephoto cam would have been nice. Still, the Moto Edge 30 Fusion is a really well-rounded upper mid-range phone, and deserves our full recommendation. Thanks for watching guys, and see you on the next one.